Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Engine. Johnny Fogel, Nick Freeman, Nick Falk. Got another redraft for you guys today. 2011 redraft. Inspiration from Bleacher Report. Pretty much what we do is we read the real 2011 draft, the NBA draft, which I'm going to pull out right now. And then we redid the lottery because but with everything said and done, let's get into it. The first pick in the 2011 real draft, Kyrie Irving, then Derek Williams, Enes Kanter, Tristan Thompson, Jonas Valanciunas, Jan Velsley, Bismack Biyombo, Brandon Knight, Kemba Walker, Jimmer Fredette, Klay Thompson, Alec Burks, Markieff Morris, and Marcus Morris. And in our first round, in our first Engine redraft, Nick Freeman's Cleveland Cavaliers over Kawhi Leonard, butchered the name for some weird reason, selects Kyrie Irving. Nick Freeman explained why you would take Kawhi Leonard, the third youngest Finals MVP. He's been considered top 3 for the past 2 years. We're talking about decade here. Kyrie Irving gets hurt all the time. Why would you take Kyrie Irving over Kawhi Leonard in any scenario?
So first, if we're talking decade, Kyrie Irving and Kawhi Leonard's injury history is pretty similar. So I wouldn't really use that as an argument. Yeah, it is pretty similar. And the reason I went with it is it's the full decade, and we know what the Cavs are getting with Kyrie. They developed Kyrie. Kawhi developed under Pop. If Kawhi goes to the Cavs, he is probably not the same player he is today. The main reason, though, is the Cavs won a ring with Kyrie Irving, and he was a perfect second option for LeBron. If they have Kawhi there, a really great two-way player, small forward, I don't know if LeBron goes back to Cleveland. They might already have his heir apparent who's not able to overcome the Warriors. I think Kyrie Irving is a huge part why they got those rings, or that ring, sorry. I think if there's Kawhi, there's a good chance they don't have one ring, and I think you can't risk that.
I think that because we're looking at this hypothetically and going off of what we know now, I would actually never, ever, ever take Kyrie Irving over Kawhi Leonard. And I
don't think he's a better player.
No, I know.
I need to clear that up, but I think they win more with Kyrie, more so than Kawhi Leonard. You just don't really know what Kawhi Leonard is. He's been amazing the last 3 years, but you're overrating Kawhi Leonard right now. 7 years ago, Kyrie and Kawhi Leonard were pretty equal players.
Okay, no, hold on.
But we're doing this off of what we know now. What do we know now? Kawhi Leonard is
what we know now is that Kyrie was developed by the Cavs and turned into a borderline superstar who's just been injured this year, but actually was averaging over 27 points per game. He's a stud.
My problem with it is you can't use the development argument because that's what this whole draft is based on. The reason these players are here today is because they were developed.
Well, the reason
their first picks got screwed by their teams.
The development argument is only if you have that player who played for the specific team because you know Kyrie led them to a champion or was one of the leaders on a championship team.
Yes, and what I do know is Kawhi Leonard is the third youngest Finals MVP ever. He was 21 and he locked up.
He was not the best player on that.
I mean, also the other argument is LeBron he still would have come back to Cleveland because the reason he came back to Cleveland was not to play with Kyrie or so he could He's going to get the ball no matter what.
Yeah, but if Kawhi's a superstar, Cleveland might not want him. Or they might not pair him together.
They would want him.
They would want
him even more.
The Cavs history now and then.
Team if they had a small forward who could ball like
Kawhi Leonard, if I knew who he was, I would totally take LeBron. That is ridiculous. We gotta move on. Nick Freeman, we gotta move on. That's ridiculous.
They won a ring. They might have not had it with Kawhi.
They could have won 3 with Kawhi.
I don't know if that's true.
But the second pick, Kawhi Leonard to the Timberwolves. We already talked about this a lot, but I think the Timberwolves, Nick Falk, would get a complete steal if they got Kawhi Leonard in real life in 2011.
They would. There's not much to talk about. I mean, he basically carried the Raptors to a championship. One of the best finals run or playoff runs ever. He's an amazing defensive player. You can't go wrong. Just to continue on the Kyrie thing, I do understand a small sliver of that, and that is they did win a championship. So why change it? But, I still think they would have won more with Kawhi.
I think they would have won more with Kawhi, too. I mean, Nick Freeman, let me ask you this. Would you take Kawhi and LeBron over Kyrie and LeBron? Answer this the right way. Don't.
So if we're going full hypothetical, I'm not going to do it. I would take Kawhi and LeBron.
That's right. All right, moving on to the third pick. Klay Thompson to the Utah Jazz. Nick Freeman.
Wait, 1 second to clarify. I think 2016 Kyrie and 2016 LeBron might be better than 2016 Kawhi and 2016 LeBron. Because 2016 Kyrie was dirty. These Ks are messing me up.
2016 Kawhi got injured by, I can't even remember what his name was on the Warriors, but
Zaza.
Zaza Pachulia, thank you very much. All right, moving on to number 3, Klay Thompson, Utah Jazz, Nick Freeman.
Yeah, we'll hurry this up. Just Klay Thompson can fit on any team, amazing shooter, over 20 points per game, and he's a pretty good defender, just absolute limitless range stud shooter.
Yeah. All right, moving on to 4, Jimmy Butler.
The reason behind this was he did take a little bit longer to develop, so Kemba is obviously a viable option. But since Nick did take Kyrie with the first pick, I had to get that wing player. He's a really good wing player, really good defensively, a really good team leader.
At 5, another questionable pick by the GM Nick Freeman, Tobias Harris to the Toronto Raptors. Interesting pick. Don't agree with it, Nick Freeman.
With the Raptors, pretty much throughout the decade, they had really solid guard play. So I went Tobias Harris, who I think would be a great wing for that team. Really good 3-and-D player, especially offensive or 3-point shooter. And he's always averaged around 20 points per game. I think he could do really well on a winning unit in Toronto.
I don't think he's been great this whole decade. I think there's multiple people who I would have taken throughout the decade on this list more, but we do
Since
have to move
2013, he's averaged 15 points per game at least every year.
Yeah, but your argument for Kemba with his inflated stats is also the same with Tobias Harris and the Magic. So I think.
Thank you, Nick Falk. Moving on to number 6,
Yeah.
Walker, another guy I would have taken over Tobias Harris. Nick Falk.
They did have John Wall, as we could see in our last video. He went in 2010 draft. But I just had to take Kemba Walker. It's a huge drop-off after him. It would be a pretty deadly guard combo.
Definitely would. Another guard, number 7, Isaiah Thomas to the Sacramento Kings. Isaiah Thomas over Nikola Vucevic, Nick Freeman. Another questionable pick.
Well, this is questionable on Johnny's side because he does not know what he's talking about with Isaiah Thomas. This guy was an MVP candidate, absolute stud. He averaged 29 points per game with the Celtics. Think about what he would have done with the Kings, even less pieces to help him. Just would have gone off. And besides that, a lot of people only point to
Nick
that.
Freeman, did you know Isaiah Thomas was actually drafted by the Kings in the last pick of this draft in real life?
That was when they had
Imagine what he would have done with the Kings. That is crazy. Imagine what he would have done with the Kings. Oh wait, didn't he get cut?
Oh no, in his prime. Sorry.
In his prime. All right.
Well,
his
he did
prime didn't come till
for a while.
His prime didn't come till 4 or 5 years after this. All right, moving on to number 8, Nikola Vucevic to the Detroit Pistons, Nick Falk.
The Pistons love their big man. If he could have developed his 3-game earlier, he would actually have been a solid piece. He is a really good player. He just doesn't really do anything. That's why he fell for us. But I'm still happy to get him at number 8.
There you go. Number 9, Markieff Morris for the Charlotte Bobcats.
Yeah, this isn't a very exciting pick, but pretty good player. He's developed a 3-point shot and has kind of gotten better every year of his career. Pretty solid defender, tough player, team leader, and he's been a really clutch player throughout his career.
At the 10th pick in our draft, Jonas Valanciunas to the Milwaukee Bucks over Bojan Bogdanovic.
Yeah, because Bojan Bogdanovic came into the league in 2015, so I just couldn't wait 5 years. Having a 7-foot center who's solid defensively and can throw down lobs, I think I can't go wrong, and I couldn't wait. I think Bojan would obviously go earlier in this draft, but since he didn't come into the league until later, he fell.
At 11, Bojan Bogdanovic. We just covered it. Nick Freeman.
Yeah, so the Warriors took Klay Thompson at this pick, which was obviously an amazing pick. But getting Bojan Bogdanovic, even though he came later, he would have come right around Steph Curry's golden years, which I think would have been really good. And even though he isn't Klay Thompson, he is a stud shooter who has really good, motion. Like he runs around the 3-point line all the time.
You catch and shoot. Yeah.
All right. 12, Chandler Parsons, Utah Jazz, one of the most overpaid players in NBA history, Nick Falk.
Yeah, I mean, he was overpaid for a reason, though. He got that big contract for a reason. He was an electric scorer and shooter. I think a few seasons he had a 3-point percentage over 40%. It's a great pick for the Jazz. This just shows how stacked the draft class is because, I mean, theoretically last year they would have gotten Hayward and then now Parsons. That's two pretty good scoring wings.
At 13, Markieff Morris, brother of Marcus, Phoenix Suns.
They actually took him there at 13, I believe. And I mean, he's pretty good. He gets you a double-double night in, night out. He's a energy guy, a pretty good defensive leader, but no one to be excited about. Just the Morris brothers are those types of players.
He has a cool name, Tristan Thompson at 14 for the Houston Rockets.
I mean, he was a really, really good rebounder, and he still is today. He's been starting center for almost 10 years. Of course, it's been on the Cavs, which isn't very impressive, but I mean, the rebounding
it's something
at 14. This is great for the Rockets. They love rebounding centers too.
His stats were definitely inflated by LeBron a little bit later on in his career, but that doesn't happen until later, so whatever. That's gonna do it for this episode of Redraft. Tune in, 2012 Redraft on its way. We'll be done with 2019 in a couple of episodes. We'll get back to top 50 NBA players soon. I know you guys love those, but till then, signing off. Johnny Fogel, Nick Freeman, Nick Falk. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day. See you guys.
Thank you.